Hello all, good morning, good evening, something. So this is the continuation for the promises in JavaScript part one. Okay, in the yesterday's session, okay, we just understand how to create promises, promise object, and how to deal with then method. Okay, we did this one right. Okay, hope you are you completed the practice for the part one. Otherwise, please go back and watch that video and then only watch this. Otherwise, you can't understand. Okay, fine. So yesterday, I'm supposed to explain this one. Okay, if you see, you cannot access the promise properties state and result. So promise have two things. One is promise object is going to maintain the state of the asynchronous call and the result of that asynchronous call. So we can't directly call this one like promise object dot state or promise object dot result. So if you want to utilize this information, if you want to see this information, again you need to use the um, promise methods. Okay, the JavaScript provided two beautiful methods, that is then and catch also, to utilize that. Okay, that's what we are learning. So already we have done because this is a simple one. It's a we have created a promise object. This is a callback function we have passed for this promise constructor, and we have used the one asynchronous thing, that is set timeout, and we have given 10,000 milliseconds, and we are just checking whether we're just doing hard coded the value, but normally here you will call the REST API, and whatever the result will come, user ID, you will store in this user ID. So just imagine we got a right result, that is 101. So if you got the result, whether it is 101 or anything, if this user ID is not equal to undefined, then that is success. So we can resolve. So what we are doing, we are handovering the result to a resolve callback method. Okay, we just give it to that because it will take care of. And if something went wrong, if we got any error or something, just hand over that error details or error object to reject callback. This resolved and reject or callback functions that will be take care by the this promise object. This is beautiful. So if you see, this is a constructor method and this is a callback. If you see, this is a callback function. And again, for this callback function, we have another two callback function, that is a resolve and reject. Okay, here we are consuming this resolve and reject. Here we are passing the callback function. Of course, there is some confusion kind of thing, but if you are following the series, if you are doing practice, hopefully you are able to understand what I'm talking. So now today, okay, after that we have a promise object, and this promise object have hold the results. Okay, if you see, promise state is there and promise result is there. So the state either pending or fulfilled or rejected. Okay, if it is fulfilled, you will get the result. If it is rejected, you will get the error information. So that, but you can't access directly, so we can't see like promise object dot promise state or promise object dot promise result. So to fetch this information, success information or a failure information, we need to again depend on a methods, and we need to pass again the callback functions. So that's what we have done. So this promise object that then is a method. So here we have passed two things. One is for the success. First one represents the success callback, and second one represents the failure callback. Okay, it's nothing. This is simple one. So these are two arguments. This is one argument, and this is the second argument. So I hope you guys understood what we are talking. So let's see. Yesterday we have seen the success message, right? So if the user ID is 101, we are getting the proper result. So just refresh one more time. So right now it's pending state after 10,000 milliseconds. That means 10 seconds. it is going to complete the asynchronous task, and we will get the result. Okay, and eventually from where we are taking this result 101, so that will come and store in the same object. So that's the beauty of JavaScript. Okay, so if you see 101, and for to fetch this information we are using then, and we are passing the success callback function. Suppose in case if we didn't get anything, so we are calling the REST API. Okay, we are calling the REST API result. Okay, it's not returning anything. That's like, if it doesn't return anything, it's undefined, right? So if it is undefined, it is going to come into the else block and it is going to reject that promise. So the state will be rejected, and this is the error message, this is the error information. Okay, in that particular situation, so this callback is going to be executed. So we are just provided, if it is success, execute this callback. If it is failure, just execute this one. Okay, who's going to execute? This promise object will take care of that. So automatically it will trigger. If it is fulfilled, it will trigger success callback. If it is rejected, it will trigger the failure callback. So only thing is we need to know how to write the code, how to use this the callbacks properly. So remaining thing, promise object will take care and JavaScript will take care. So let's see what is the output now. I hope you can guess easily. So right now, initially, whenever the object we call the constructor, that at the time the pending, and after 10 seconds we will get the result. Oh my god, this is error, something went wrong. Let's see, just open. Of course, don't get confused. Okay, it will say that pending. That means don't this think that Raghu, this is pending state. How we got the error message? So whenever we log this object at that time, it was pending. Still, it will be same here if you observe that, but expand it so that you can see the exact result, because this information came asynchronously and stored in that promise, so that you can see once you expand that result after completion of that asynchronous call. Okay, if you open that before that, you will see that's a pending state. Okay, the beauty JavaScript. If you just follow these things, if you understand, definitely you will fall in love with the JavaScript. So if you see that the state is rejected, and it is giving the exact error message, something went wrong. Okay, something went wrong. Suppose if you don't handle this one, if you don't handle this one properly, okay, if you don't give a error message properly, okay, let's see what will happen. Okay, I just handled success message only, but I didn't inform to a promise. I didn't inform to the JavaScript engine what to do if we face some issue. Okay, let's say refresh. This is very very important. Just refresh. Wait for 10 seconds. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Oh, you see, it is throwing uncaught, and in promise something went wrong. Okay, and once we got this error, it is JavaScript engine is not going to execute anything. So it will struck. Okay, it doesn't allow user to take any action who are using the website. That means, if you see, if you're dealing with the normal callback hell, the pyramid of doom, it's very difficult to handle this kind of errors. But now if you see, if you get any error for any kind of thing, okay, you can write the code what to do. If something went wrong, what I need to do, okay, without stopping the code. Because if something went wrong, you should provide, because this is console.log. If you see, so if you got any error at any point of time in the browser console, like it is logged in the browser console, that means it's JavaScript engine stopped execution, and it will just go for a rest, because it is causing the problem for JavaScript engine, because it is throwing some error. So it can't do anything. JavaScript engine can't do anything if you get some error, right? So we should handle properly the error thing. So what we need to do here, if something went wrong, I will take some action as a programmer, as a developer. Okay, I will take some action. we'll take some action. That is, okay, if we are getting some error, okay, error, okay, I will do, because if you do console.log, it will print the console.log. It doesn't stop the execution of JavaScript engine. So here, okay, I will fix it. Okay, that means developer, I'm saying. Okay, developer should fix it, should handle it. Okay, he will just print the error message. So if you see, this time you can't see this red color message. If a red color message came now, if you see this kind of error, that means JavaScript engine stops execution after this message. So just refresh. So this time also, the REST API is not returning anything, the value is undefined. Definitely it will be something went wrong. We are taking help of a reject method, callback method, and we are maintaining. Once it is rejected, it is just holding that result in the promise result state. Okay, promise result. So and with the help of then method, okay, we are we are getting that information. If it's something error, so based on that you can take some action. If something went wrong, either you will call the REST API one more time, or you will display some message like something went wrong to a user, and please enter your credentials one more time, something. Otherwise, if you get the exact error message, okay, you can handle it properly. So if you see, that means with the help of this we can handle errors properly. Error handling also the biggest advantage. So if you go with a callback hell, like if you just use the callbacks only for the asynchronous and dependent task, it's going to be very tough. The promises are very, very easy. Only thing is syntax is somewhat different, because here we are just creating a promise. That's why it's very difficult. But consuming the promise is not a difficult thing. It's the easiest syntax. Okay. Of course, anyway, we are going to learn how to consume already existing promises easily, that we can cover in the next video. But here we are going to talk about one more interesting thing. Okay, I hope you are interested, right? If you need, you can take a break and come back. Okay, fine. So here the promise object dot then. So if you see, it's a confusing thing. So here you are passing the success message, you are passing the error message. Somewhat you're getting confused, right? So we have some alternative for that. So if you see, instead of this, promise object, promise object dot then. Okay, okay. Here these are optional thing. Suppose if you give this null, if you give it as a null, and if you pass error message, that is also fine. If you give this first argument and if you give a null for the second argument, that is also fine. But if you want to maintain the code much more cleaner way, so do this one. So promise object dot then, okay, this is going to handle the success message, success results. Okay, after that for the same, after then, after the same bracket. So observe carefully if you have a confusion. Okay, so if you see, after then, just to do again we have another method that is called catch. Okay, beautiful, right? Promise object that then, this is the method. Again you can call this catch also. So JavaScript is beautiful, right? Isn't it? Definitely it is beautiful. So if you see, you can write like this. Okay, that then, okay, that catch. So promise object, okay, then means it will handle the success message. We have another thing to handle the errors. So here, so just copy this error handling callback, just give it to the catch method. So now if you see how easy it is, and you can remove unnecessary semicolons or something. So promise object will take care of asynchronous call. Okay, it will hold the success result, success value and the failure value. We no need to worry about that. Okay, but normally we are not going to write these things in the front end side. Okay, people who are working in the back end, they will create all the promises. The only thing is we need to know how to consume the promises. Okay, how to consume the asynchronous thing. So if you see the simple, so they will return promise object, okay, and then method. If it is success, just give a callback function and write your own logic, what you want to do, whether you want to call the another REST API, another task, obviously you can call inside that. Okay, so if something went wrong, happily you can just log the details. So if you see, this time also we'll get the same kind of result. So this is equivalent to this one. But if you see how beautiful is this, the second one. So just refresh one more time. So what's that, error or something? I don't know what, whether I hard coded user ID or I just removed. Let's see. Okay, something went wrong. So if you see, it's working properly. This is rejected and something went wrong. Here, in this situation, it has executed, it came. Because if you see, once it is reject, that means it is going to, that promise object is going to trigger this catch and it will provide that error information for us as an argument, and you can use and you can decide what you want to do for the next thing. And suppose if you give some value, suppose 1001 this time or 10,001. Okay, so just refresh. So if you see, right now this is pending. After some time it will be fulfilled. We don't know at what time it is fulfilled, but we have given 10,000 milliseconds for this set timer. This time we know that it is going to execute after 10,000 milliseconds. So normally whenever you send a request to the server, we don't know whether it will take 10 milliseconds or it will take 5 milliseconds. We are not going to wait for that, and when it is going to execute, we should take some action. We don't need to worry about that because we have a promises. Promise will take care of that. Only thing is, well, you should know if it is successful what to do and if it is failure what to do. So just give those details to the promise itself. The promise will take care of that. So if you see, if it is fulfilled, that's why it got executed automatically. Okay, it triggered the success message, success callback, and we got the result. So now you can remove this syntax. So this is going to be very, very easy, right? Easy. If you have done a practice, if you do a practice, this is very, very easy. So please try to practice one or two examples and you should able to. So just remove this thing and just create a separate file. Don't watch this and try to create your own promise object, and just write some logic, okay, based on some condition. Just call the result based on some failure thing, just call the reject, and just try with both the syntax promise object dot, then you can, if you can pass as a first argument. And if you see the simple one, if you're not interested to use the catch, so you can just copy this and you can give as an argument to the first one itself. Okay, then you can comment this one. This is fine, that's fine, but this is much more readable, right? Yeah, that's your choice, which one is your favorite. My favorite is this one because we are going to handle multiple tasks. So far we have handled only task one. Okay, and we need to give this result to task two, and the result of task two we should pass to the task three, and result of task three we should pass to the task four. So these things should be achieved. Okay, in that process, this syntax is going to be very, very helpful because once we got completed the task one, we are going to call we are going to call another one. Okay, we are going, once it is done, we are going to call third one. Okay, once it is successful, we are going to call fourth one. Okay, wherever we got the error, okay, it will catch that. Okay, so this is the task one thing, task two thing, task three thing, task four thing. So we don't need to worry about the callback hell or something pyramid of doom or inversion of control. We can control the whole logic because whatever the result, whether it is a failure or success, the result is coming into the promise, and already we have decided what to do if it is successful or a failure, because we have defined those callback functions. That's why it's going to be 100% control under the developer. So how these things will work, so we can cover those things in the next video. Okay, maybe tomorrow. Okay, please do practice. Please do practice. Please do practice. Otherwise, you can't understand anything. If you don't revise, you will forget everything. That's a natural thing. So I hope you guys understood. Please, please, please do practice the simple, create a simple promise, okay? And just do a asynchronous things at just a timeout, whether 10,000 millisecond, 5,000 millisecond, that's your wish. And this is a simple thing. So hopefully you will do practice and you will learn. And if you understand, just ping, just in the comment section, just mention that understood. I know you guys are not interested to comment or click on like button. That's your choice. But at least ping me in the WhatsApp that I understand this concept. Okay. Okay. And if you don't understand, yeah, just let me know. I will come up with a much more simpler example. Okay. Bye bye and see you in the next video. In the next video, we are going to learn how to pass the result of task 1 to the task 2, and with the help of promises. And then we can chain not only 4, you can chain 10 or 20 or 30, no problem. No callback hell, no pyramid of doom. So we can handle very, very easily. Okay. Thank you and see you in the next video. Bye bye.